We're back live tonight here on In Focus. A political analyst has thrown the cat among the pigeons, so to speak. This after she claimed she had it in good authority that SCOPA would investigate audio recordings purporting to contain President Cyril Ramaphosa, saying he was aware some ANC members had used state resources for party campaigns. Parliament Standing Committee on Public Accounts has since said it wouldn't be entertaining the matter further after an initial interest in it. When approached for a right of reply, SCOPA chairperson Mkhuleko Hlengwa told Newzroom Afrika that he would not be engaging the public on the matter. Joining us now for his take on the controversy is former SCOPA chairperson Themba Godi. Good evening, and thank you very much for your time. You might, of course, be accused of wanting to lead from the grave. You've had your turn. You must now step aside and allow the SCOPA committee to do its work. But you nonetheless think you should weigh in on this?
Not very true. I have very much stayed away from the business of the committee to allow it space to do its work. And I have refused to, in the past, to give advice, so to speak, on what they should or should not do. But nonetheless, these are matters of national importance. We cannot keep quiet on them, and I think the understanding and the insights that I have can be useful to the country, and that is why I'm prepared to talk to this matter, because it talks very much to the mandate of the committee and talks very much to the critical question troubling our democracy, that of corruption, that of unaccountable leaders, that of not putting the interests of the people first.
Yeah. Do you think, I mean, knowing how the committee works, having been the chair of the committee, by the way, this is the one of the committees, if not the only committee, that is chaired by a non-ANC member, so to speak. So how does this work? I mean, it looks like, for example, when the committee wanted to bring President Cyril Ramaphosa to come and answer to it, the ANC MPs blocked that particular process to the point where the president then had to make a submission via a letter or some sort in terms of the questions about this particular allegation. Do you think there is then deliberate work being done by the ANC members in that committee to block this process from continuing?
No, very true. Well, in the first instance, you will recall that the committee sought legal opinion from Parliament, which affirmed that it fell squarely within their mandate. And secondly, SCOPA, as you know, it's called the protector of the public purse, which means its business is to deal with how the finances of the state or the public are being managed, to prevent corruption, to prevent wastage, and where there are instances of such happening, it is their responsibility to look into them. Secondly, I must stress that oversight of Parliament must be understood as a political process, not an administrative process, meaning that political considerations always come into play. And so the ANC made political calculations, not constitutional calculations. They made political calculations and took the decision that they took because the rules of Parliament dictate that in all committees, the ANC should be a majority, or the composition of committees must reflect the composition of the House, meaning if the ANC is a majority, it must be a majority in all committees. So to be able to manage a committee where the chair is not from the ANC, but the ANC is a majority, I can tell you, I know from experience, it's a very, very difficult undertaking.
Yeah, it seems now the Treasurer General saying that he compiled some kind of tapes or something, or make these tapes public if indeed subpoenaed by the public protector. Do you think that would be a move that will help?
Well, not really, not self-evidently, because SCOPA has the powers to summon anybody to appear before it and to submit documents. So it is the powers that SCOPA has could have summoned the president to appear before it. But for it to make such a decision it means the committee must agree in full, or at least the majority of the committee must agree. And then that's where you get into the ANC trap. If the ANC has decided politically that they shouldn't agree, then the outcome will be that the committee would not agree. And I must say that this is very much different from the team that I worked with in the last term, where there were no holy cows. We called anybody and everybody, and I was given the space as the chairperson to lead the committee. And small wonder, and that's my conspiracy theorist coming to the fore. Small wonder, none of the ANC members in SCOPA came back into the sixth parliament because they were fulfilling their constitutional obligation of holding everybody accountable. But I see, looking at what has happened, that the ANC is asserting itself and reducing its chairperson to just being there.
But did it not make your work a whole lot easier, for example, as SCOPA, when you had things like the Public Protector's report, the Auditor General's report, and other reports that kind of supported the work that you were trying to do? So an ANC treasurer complying with a subpoena from a Public Protector could certainly maybe help take the investigation forward. That could better inform the work of SCOPA and what they need to do.
No, true. I think especially the reports of the Auditor General and any other report into financial expenditure assist the committee, because then you are not starting from debating what is wrong and what is right. That has already been determined by an investigation. However, with the report of the Public Protector, there's nothing that the committee is going to do with it, because the Public Protector will submit a report and make recommendations on remedial action. So there will be no space for Parliament. Fact of the matter is, SCOPA or Parliament has its own unique responsibility that it must play, and they kicked the can down the road, saying we're waiting for Zondo. If Zondo says nothing, then by implication it means there's nothing. Which for me is a dereliction of responsibility. And for me, it was a great opportunity for Parliament to hold the President to account, more so that he had said himself he is ready to cooperate with SCOPA. And the State Security Agency, according to the chairperson on that day of the hearing, was ready to provide documents to him. So what happened between then and when they decided, well, they're not going to do anything, can be anybody's guess.
Themba Godi, I appreciate your time and your input this evening here on In Focus. That is former SCOPA chairperson Themba Godi. Then his views on the work of SCOPA and what they need to do, particularly on those leaked tape. It's a matter that, of course, would still, by the looks of things, be investigated by the Public Protector. More to come out of that.